Happy New Year, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Gabs Condola, otherwise known as the Roadtrip Connoisseur. For those of you that know me, probably thinking, what the hell? But yeah, it's 2024 and I've decided to start vlogging. What I'm going to do over the next few minutes is explain everything, past, present and future, and give you a small kind of insight as to what to expect over the next year. Now, for those of you that do know me, have been following my journey so far, will know that the year 2023 was quite a big year for me, especially for the Roadtrip Connoisseur. I was able to conquer many things off my bucket list, but two special ones in particular. First of all, I finally completed and published my book, The Roadtrip Connoisseur, The Journey So Far. For those of you who know, that was something that it's probably been about a year or so in the making, or writing. It's all kind of happened, the year before, so in the summertime. Me and a couple of mates decided to go down to Champagne region in France, and you couldn't make it up. It was meant to be an innocent weekend away, and ended up getting two blowouts on my Audi A8 and leaving my car in France because they couldn't find tyres for it. Me and my mate Jordan ended up driving back to the UK, buying a full set of new tyres, driving it back on the first day of the summer holidays, where the authorities were striking. Eventually made it back to France, tyres on the car, and then ended up driving my car, or spending a second weekend in a row in Champagne. These are one of many stories, and obviously, click on the link below, and please buy a copy of my book if you've not bought it already. And there you'll kind of get insight as to how I've got to this stage and how I've got to this point, today, how I've got to vlogging. The book kind of came as to an idea, came to us as an idea, and many people have kind of mentioned it to me on that particular journey. I was like, I've got to kind of put this together, and it happened. So yeah, happy that was done. Second of all, I finally visited my 50th country, which was Portugal. For some reason, it had never been a country that I've visited before, so I'm glad that I finally ended up going there. It was for my birthday. I went solo, and for those of you that never travel solo, I highly recommend it. It was one of probably about 3 solo trips that I've done now so far. I did North Coast 500 during the lockdown by myself, and I did the driving a Rolls Royce for a friend of mine from London to Rome. That was kind of like the end of COVID, and all totally different experiences. But the beauty of solo traveling is, you go where you want, do what you want, and that's kind of the beauty of of traveling solo. It's you're the boss of yourself. Many people kind of skeptical and have asked me questions, how is it? And I was like, what, if you get the opportunity to do it, it's something I definitely highly recommend. And that's kind of where the idea started, Roadtrip Connoisseur, in terms of creating content and putting more and more of it on my social media. When I was in Scotland, I was, taking content, when going to, the whiskey distilleries, the Harry Potter train, and, the James Bond location, in the Scottish Highlands. And it's kind of where the idea of the Roadtrip Connoisseur came along. During the COVID period, I remember being at work, and there was a massive lottery draw coming on that night. And everyone's on about, what they would do if they had all the money in the world. And my colleague asked me, and I was like, what? I would get a car, create content, I would drive around the world. And not to just any particular kind of, the general bog standard locations, but it's kind of explore more and more, different location. I've been very fortunate to kind of travel many places around the world. Russia, Japan, Brunei, Singapore, all over America. All over America. You kind of forget how, although it's just one country, there's so many places to visit, whether you're on the West Coast. Obviously, I went to university and I lived there in New York. But it wasn't until last year the year before last year now, when I went down, through like the Midwest, and that was quite an experience in itself, because, driving through the likes of, Alabama and Kentucky and Tennessee, these are kind of places which you never really think about doing. But for me, a place called Bardstown, big up Bardstown, the home of bourbon, one of the greatest places on this planet that I've ever been to. Everyone was so nice and, welcoming, and it's such an amazing experience. This journey started a long time. So although, I mentioned that, more recently I've been paying more and more attention to road trips and kind of following my passion and my dreams, with amazing friends, and so many, places I've been to, but so many friends I've made along the way. My little brother, I think it all started off with him. In 2016, we went to the Stuttgart, Mercedes Museum in Stuttgart and the Porsche Museum. And that kind of formed our bond. I remember that trip was one of the first ones, but then I think the year after, we ended up going to Paris for the Kendrick Lamar concert, and that then kind of ended up being a bigger and longer trip than expected. We ended up going down to Monaco, and I had never seen snow in Monaco, and it's something that hadn't happened for a long time, but that was definitely an experience. I remember coming back home about 4 or 5 days later than expected on that trip. So that was quite a cool experience. But today I'm in Pall Mall in London. I was going to do this vlog outside, but considering it's only a couple of days before New Year's, it's chucking it down in true British winter fashion. Pall Mall, for those of you that know, being friends with me for a long time, know that I'm very passionate when it comes to Gumball Rally. I was not always living in London. I was born and raised and grew up in a place called Wolverhampton, in the Midlands of the UK. Gumball Rally first kind of came to my attention when Jackass decided to do it, and then the Gumball Rally kind of came more and more into kind of like the mainstream media. And Pall Mall is iconic because a lot of the London Gumball Rally started off here. I remember we used to come down as a family, so me, my siblings, my parents, and we used to make it a day of it. So we'll come in here in the morning, we'll kind of wait there, wait for the cars to come out, and for the flag to drop. And that was such a cool experience. And I remember this is kind of the day before social media, before the platforms that we have today, the YouTubes, the Instagrams, the X, Twitter, and Facebook. And it was still, you kind of grew up, watching and reading, the websites and, the blogs at the time to kind of see, where people were and the stories, the crashes, the people being arrested. And that kind of was a start of that particular journey when it comes to doing road trips on such a grand scale, or rallies or tours, whatever you want to call it. And little did I know in 2015 that I'll be doing my first Gumball Rally. That was from Stockholm to Vegas, and then I was very fortunate enough to do 6 rallies after that. And that has been definitely an adventure. Met so many great people. But there were some of the greatest kind of memories. One of them being in 2017. Rallies and everything finished. Me and my friends were going to drive the cars back from Mykonos back to the UK, and we ended up at the Ferrari Museum on the drive back. We thought, let's go. unfortunately, my car got broken into. Me and my brother were sharing a car, passports, luggage, everything stolen. It was one of those bittersweet moments. You kind of realize it's the people that make the rallies, the stories. And I remember being pissed off, upset, you name it, full of emotion at the time. Had it not been for the boys, I would never have gone through that journey, without them. And I look back on it now, and it's one of the most memorable stories of all time for me. The memories and the friends and everything, that we made on that time, it's, you can't beat it. That feeling, and it kind of where the whole passion, everything kind of came from. But I think I first got the travel bug in 2008, where I used to be a hair model, for those of you that probably never knew this. Very fortunate to go and travel out to Chicago for my 18th, just before my 18th birthday. And it was such a cool experience. I kind of realized that there's a massive, big world out there, and that's where the travel, bug kind of came from. I remember coming back where it was like -15. I was back for 48 hours, and I went to Dubai, in India with my, family. So that was kind of the start of the whole epic journey. So I come to the present day. Why am I doing this? Why have I decided to go vlogging? Well, I love creating content. And for me, it's about sharing my experience, my passions, whether it be fashion, cars, traveling, music, food, drink. And I think that's one thing which, for those who've been following me on Instagram, over the last, couple of years, know that I'm kind of passionate, not only just about cars, but a whole bunch of things. And I want to experience, this and share this journey with you guys, because many people have asked me, like various questions, like, I'm thinking about doing a road trip, or I'm thinking about going here, or have you been here? And I was like, yeah. And when it comes to, helping people out, advising people, I'm the most passionate person when it comes to this. And I always want to make sure that when the person goes to visit that place, that they have the best possible experience. So many people come back to me and see my content, like, oh, well, you've been here and, you've seen this, and what's the best time to, I don't know, go and see the Harry Potter train when you're in Scotland? And, I love sharing this experience, and that's something that I want to do. I want to take it to the next stage and share my journey with you guys. But like I said, I've done 50 countries, and I've pretty much done every country in Europe. But there's a couple of places which are still off the bucket list, which needs to be ticked off. Without going into too much detail, one thing I can promise is this year and going forward, I'm going to take things to the next level. So go and visit places that I have not been to before. And kind of documenting the whole thing and sharing my journey, sharing my experience. Something I wish I'd done before now, looking back at, some of the places. I've been very fortunate when I was putting my book together, and I was looking through content. It's, as the years have gone on, I've got, better and better pictures, but I think I want to kind of focus more on this and pictures and videos. And this is the reason why I want to start vlogging, because I want to kind of go through the whole experience and the whole journey with you guys. So yeah, that is my plan. I've got a couple of, things which are 100% confirmed. So in 2 weeks' time, I'm off to Sicily, and that will be with my brother, my cousins. This trip came about when we decided to go to Geneva and Chamonix last year. We were still driving to Chamonix, and we stopped off in Geneva, and I kid you not, we were sitting in an Italian restaurant and saw a map of Sicily, and we're like, let's go Sicily. And it was as simple as that. We never kind of thought about anything else. We never looked at the weather, and we're just like, okay, this is, the dates that were all available, and we're going to go. So that's going to be my first travel vlog, which I'm going to be sharing with you guys, which I'm really excited about, because I look forward to hearing your feedback, things that you want to see, things that you want me to do and kind of explore and kind of give me the heads up, and just like, yeah, that's something that I want to do, and I, share this experience with you guys. After this, there's a couple of other trips which I have potentially planned, some bigger than others. The other thing which I do have planned at the start of June, the Great Escapes tour. So with my friends Simon Reynolds and Karina Clace, We're going to be starting off in Salzburg, Austria, and we're going to be driving throughout Europe, Greece, Albania, and finishing off on the Greek island of Corfu. So as a road trip connoisseur, I'll be going there and giving my point of view. You know, the I was going to say rally, Simon would kill me, but you know, the road trip, the whole experience through my eyes. This tour would be, you know, starting off in Salzburg. For anyone that's into music, Mozart is, you know, connected to this beautiful, amazing city. I've just come back from Vienna a couple of weeks ago, and for anyone that does know me, I'm into classical music, so Salzburg will be a very special place. Going back to Albania will be like a trip down memory lane. If you wonder why, read my book. I look forward to going back and then finishing off in, you know, Greek island in the summertime. You can't beat that. But that's what I can confirm so far for this year. So here you go, my vlog number 1. I look forward to hearing your feedback. Please continue to support me. I can't do this without you guys. Like my content, share it, spread it, show some love. I look forward to hearing back from you guys. I look very forward to experiencing Italy with my camera, being that vlogger, being that guy. It's gonna be a cool one. I've planned an itinerary already, and I look forward to sharing this, you know, journey with you. So yeah, here you go, end of vlog number 1. You guys take care of yourself, and I will speak to you guys in Sicily in 2 weeks time. Bye.